Hello and welcome to Minnesota Comic Exchange Live. I'm gonna bring on our guest, the usual suspects: Chris, our captain;
Howdy, howdy.
Edmund Jordan; Jericho all by himself;
What's up, guys?
and then Nora. So,
Just
all right.
Jared fragrance for men.
Well, how's everyone doing tonight?
Doing great.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Very good.
Excited
know
for
that.
today's combo.
Yeah, I know some of you just got done with work. Some of you are not even home yet. Jericho.
It's okay.
But no, it's kind of fitting, where you're at today, because where you're at, we were talking about the comic shop. So it's kind of fitting that you're smack dab in the middle with Silver Surfer above your head.
Yeah. I was not expecting it. I knew that I'd be cutting it close, so I hope everything's cool with me doing it here. I think it should be fine.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, if you're watching, please let us know how the audio sounds, how we're looking, if Jericho needs to always be below Silver Surfer.
There may be a return of the inflatable Hulk soon, so that give me another option. So.
And now Chris is like, we need to go back. So, but Chris, do you want to talk about what we're about to talk about? Do you want me to take the lead on this about the competition that we're doing for the Minnesota Comic Exchange?
I'll take it.
All right, I'll give you the full screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're
All
doing
right.
a competition. See how it goes. We usually have the same theme for a poster. We want to do something different. We also want to get rid of licensed stuff out of there just because. And we opened it up to you, our members, and we had a lot of people. I was messaging people all afternoon the parameter paragraph that we crafted. I'm not the best with official digital design stuff and all the tools and being an artist, but we figured out the DPI we need and the size we need, and JPEG's the best. Due December 20th, and that's also when we're going to release the application form to apply to be at the first show of the year, which is February 24th, I believe. Yes. We'll pull up a calendar. Pull up a calendar real quick. Confirm that.
So everyone interested in the poster?
It is the 24th. So yeah, we have a lot of people interested in posters, a lot of creative people out there so that wanted to be involved. So we will get those and we're going to vote on them. We'd love to open it up to everybody, but it's too hard to pick then because everybody will have their favorite and then the percentages get bigger. So we're going to keep that in house and, we're going to pick that and we're going to get it running on Facebook and digitally to the masses. That's really all I got on that right now.
I was going to keep it.
We're going to learn as we go on this.
Yeah.
We're going to learn as we go, and it's going to be a great time.
Andrew said that's what she said. I'm not entirely sure. Is that what, I'm learning as we're going? That's what she said? So,
Kyle, you should put what the deadline is for. It just says deadline is. So people are coming in.
It's a hard deadline, people. Everything.
Okay.
Everything in every aspect of your life is due the 20th. Get it done. Just kidding. This is going to be hard.
Here we go. Is that better?
I was teaching Andrew how to read, and the 20th is a tight deadline for us, but we'll get there.
Okay, so I won't say it's a tight deadline for us here. That is if we're not artists, but it is a tight deadline for some creators. Like you said, you've talked to a few creators. I've had a few creators contact me as well. And they asked about the size and all that. Like I said, it's been a learning experience to get all this information from creators. So we're excited though. I'm looking forward to all the people coming in with the designs and what we can choose. But yeah, this December 20th for the show, and it's a decent size. So,
Thank you, Andrew.
but we're gonna let more people come in real quick. The change up here. Most of us went to the comic shop today, right? Jordan,
Yeah.
did you, or were you at work today?
I did not. I just barely made it back from work, so
So,
pass on the comic shop for me.
well, today was the first time I was at a comic shop in about 2-3 weeks. So it was nice getting into issues needed, seeing the guys, getting some books. But Chris, did you pick anything up at the shop today, or have a good time while you were there today?
Had a burrito from Rito's Burritos.
And a burrito.
Yeah, it was fun. I just grabbed I already put it in the box behind me, so it's too late.
Mhm.
But I grabbed some Mariner 10. Don't have that one. And then a couple things that I can't say for my wife for Christmas. Not that they're inappropriate, just if by the chance she watches this, she shouldn't know.
Just give it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think the odds are?
Does she watch this?
Yeah.
I fall asleep at like 10 right now, and she falls asleep at like 1 a.m. So who knows?
So you're
If
telling
you
me
could be doing anything?
she's that random person that we come in that comes on at 1 a.m. commenting,
Probably.
saying this Chris guy, we get him off the show.
No place named Annandale Taco is as good as Rito's Burritos. Okay, it's just not
Okay.
gonna happen.
Random question, but Nora and I were in the Apple Valley. Has anybody gone to El Super Taco?
Not yet.
Not
Right.
I.
Because we were talking about maybe going the next week. So, but Jericho, I mean, you've been at the shop all day today.
Yeah. Yeah, they needed some help covering some shifts today, so yeah.
So, anything that you purchased for new comics or you're reading?
Oh, for new comics, let's see here. Today's pickups, I have Dark X-Men number 5. I picked up one of my favorites, X-Men Red number 18, I believe. And then I also picked up, I was lucky, they had one copy that was on the shelf for Beneath the Trees, which I eerily really enjoy. And then I picked up a Star Wars High Republic 3 variant cover. I forgot his name, but it's a Wookiee
Buryaga.
Jedi. Yeah,
Buryaga.
that'll do.
Buryaga.
They're very cool. So I picked that up, and then I got one little random thing. I found this little obscure comic called Ethnic Images.
Oh dear.
Let me get the full screen again.
Like over here.
I found it, came through the shop. I think the copyright date is 1978, and it discusses cultural representation
Dude,
in the 70s in comic books.
dude,
So
that
I thought it was
that art looks really good too.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, I could take it out, but it's definitely. I thought it was a newer book given the subject matter, that was made to look old, but it's actually an older book. So I'm gonna page through it and check it out. But definitely interesting. So something
That's
random, something fun.
That's definitely something that Nora and I would want to read too. So
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with it. So yeah, those were my pickups today.
all right, Nora, I know I have half the pile from this week. Nora and I, we kind of got a lot of books. Did a Christmas shopping at Issues today. But what are you looking forward to reading this weekend or this week?
Well, Kyle and I wanted to read this first issue, Our Bones Dust, from Image. I think it was last week.
Mhm.
It's a cool Mike Mignola cover. And then what Jericho was saying about the reprint of this number 1 and the second one.
Is that a variant cover?
This one?
Mhm.
I think it's cover A.
That's different than mine.
Yeah, it says 211.
Oh,
Yeah, I
and
think
got
you
a
got your variant.
I got a variant.
Oh.
It's
And then I
okay.
talked about this last week, but we got Immortal Thor 5, What else? Some of these are from last week. This one's been good. Operation Sunshine.
Nice.
Number 3. We got the Batman. What is this one? The Gargoyle. And
Yeah.
then the City of Madness, Blade, Marvel Zombies. Yeah, Kyle's got more.
And just to answer Andrew, the bear on the number 1 second print, that is a second print of that cover. It's got also a Patton Oswalt quote on top, on the front, so that would be that issue.
Finally, Murder and Forensics are adorable. Like that alone is like, okay, got you, Patton Oswalt.
See, I'm actually looking forward to reading American Psycho 2.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because I know Nora's never watched American Psycho before, and I'm like,
There's a
trust me.
lot I haven't seen before.
Yeah, but
It's a whole.
I have a lot more here, like Predator versus Wolverine, as well. But like Nora said, we're catching up on a few weeks still.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me 1 second. All right, so before we dive into the comic shop, Nora, now is your time to shine.
Oh yeah, the comics for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So
I
I didn't even. Oh, go ahead.
So I don't have a banner. I didn't create one for this on accident.
That's okay.
So.
That's okay. All good. So
Mhm.
I didn't even realize this comic was coming out. You have that's what I think that's a different cover, but whatever.
This is the ash can. So I can find.
So maybe it's fitting for Chris now too, working at the Humane Society. Okay, so this is Animal Pound number 1 from Tom King, and it looks like it's going to be a modern retelling of the timeless Orwellian allegory. So it's kind of like Animal Farm for the 21st century. That's what I have seen, so I'm intrigued, and it's Tom King, so sold already. Anyone else hear about this one? No?
I have not yet.
Andrew said, "Did you hear the people making Stray Dogs are doing a new book with cats?"
I didn't know.
I actually just recently heard something like that. I knew that the team was coming back. But no, Peter Gross is also a really good artist too, so I'm looking forward to that team up.
Yeah, what else has he done? Like Vertigo stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did.
Vertigo.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I remember.
Oh wait, let me see if I have it.
American Jesus, I think he did with Millar.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
He's in. Oh yeah, and Lucifer.
And
Lucifer from the Vertigo days. Yeah. Well, now Jericho can also be excited about this one too. The original X-Men. So you got that team coming back. Looks like there's going to be some new adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see what they got. I'm over the classic team for myself at the moment for new stories. Like I want new stories, different characters. But that's cool. I'm gonna probably buy all of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what Greg Land does with the art. He's not my favorite, but yeah. I don't remember what else the author has written recently though.
He's
Christos Gage.
Yeah.
I know he did some tie-ins to video games in the past.
Oh.
Well, he's also written, I believe, some X-Men miniseries and limited series in the past.
Yeah. Then we'll see. And it's a miniseries too, I think, right? This one?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Gods has been good, but also confusing. But I'm also really intrigued to keep reading it. So, because it's Hickman, the artwork's amazing. Yeah, and it's just gonna be kind of a wild trip, I think. So I'm gonna keep reading it. And then I think I have, let's see. Oh, just because of this, I love Nightwing, obviously, and this cover is awesome. I know some people who've been reading it are like, I don't like the pirate story that they're going back on right now. This one, I think, is the last arc issue of that, and then they're going to kind of push forward into what's coming up next. But I think there's also tying into Beast World. I'm not reading that one, but that's okay.
That's just way too many books.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but I don't know. I can't not read Nightwing, and the covers are all amazing. So, yeah. And then I think, the Deviant 2, the first one was really great, and I didn't realize it was 9 issues. So we'll see how they stretch this story out. I think it will be good. And 'tis the season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
But
got.
yeah, it's funny because when we were doing the list, you're like, wait a minute, how did the Deviant end again?
I know, but I got to reread this.
But it's James Tynion and Joshua Hickson. So you know you're gonna enjoy that book the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week we're gonna have another list. But this time we're gonna have the banner at the bottom to help people out.
It's all good.
Jericho, Chris, Jordan, any of those you gonna pick up? No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jordan and Chris don't read new stuff.
Yeah,
I read new
not
stuff.
really.
But Jericho does, yeah.
Yeah.
But you work at a comic shop. You kind of have to keep up to date with books.
Well, it helps. You
Yeah.
don't have to, but it definitely helps at least being familiar, just so you can be helpful.
For sure.
All right, so that ties right in with comic shop, working that one, being a part of one. Why is it important for a comic shop and the community to be a part of the community?
It's a loaded question.
Who
Yes,
buys
very
your
low.
books?
What was
Mhm.
that?
Who buys your books?
Yeah, the people around the shop, the
Mhm.
people in the immediate vicinity, you
Yeah.
know, the community it resides in. And I don't know. I guess in short, I'll go first.
Mhm.
But I think comic book shop is more than just a small business. It's a small business that operates, pushing a certain product. And though we can say we like stories or the art and what have, or even collecting and specking, it still is a business. And so being a member of the community and actually speaking to the important things, appreciation of art, encouraging literacy. I think we've come to a time and day now where comic books are less frowned upon by educators and those that are, trying to encourage kids to just read. And so I think your local comic book shop is a small business, but also as an advocate for art and story is an important place. I know my favorite thing is seeing families come into the shop, not just the older parents who have, spent some time getting familiar with these stories, but also watching them get excited with their kids, whether it just be toys or characters. But I tell everyone, we're right on the Parkway, so if you're walking around the block, you're doing your little thing, make a stop in, say hi, see what's around. You don't always have to buy anything, obviously, but creating that relationship with those in your immediate vicinity is not just important for the shop, but I think it builds a good sense of network and connection. Yeah.
And you could definitely tell us a response from someone who works at a comic shop.
Well, I wish everyone would just come in and buy stuff without a reason. But, we understand our role here is to make those connections and help people find what they're looking for. But also too, yeah, go ahead.
So I said that for the community, but also how's comic shop important to you as an individual too?
I don't know. I do know. Comic reading is something I enjoy for myself personally, but as a social activity, being around books, being around people that love and enjoy similar characters or the same reasons that I enjoy the books I read, there's a healthy value to that. I'm no psychologist, but I can tell you that, some of my Saturdays and when I don't have that kind of connection but it definitely helps when you do. So spending the day at the shop was no big deal today. Being around people who are excited to just chop it up about stories, about characters. It's fun and it's a healthy connection. So happy to be a part of it.
And it spawns other stuff. Like I was in the comic shop earlier getting deep on Don Bluth cuts from the 80s, talking like I found a brother in The Last Unicorn today. Like,
yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've annoyed my friends with that America song, specifically the part where they're belting out "I'm Alive." It's amazing.
I'd imagine.
Yeah. Secret of Nim, like it all comes back to animation, right? Because that's what we're looking at. So I mean, even toys are product of franchises, right? And sometimes franchises spawn from toys, right? So like, if you have an appreciation for animation, you'll be in a comic shop
Yeah.
And thank you,
or a
Tracy.
bookstore.
It's great seeing you here.
Yeah, Tracy just said it is my happy place and inspired me to get back into my art. I love being a part of the sincere and genuine community. I feel like I could be myself, anxious to pick up my stash this weekend.
Yeah.
And just very well said. And the funny thing is, today's New Comic Book Day. It's so fitting for us to do this podcast or live stream after every comic shop is closed. Mark
Source
Underwood.
is closed.
Yeah, well, Source isn't closed, but most of the shops are usually closed
What's up,
around
Paul?
7:30, 8 o'clock. But it just makes sense for us to do this after everyone's got the new comic books. But we were talking to a few people at the shop today. They were talking about how big the pull list was today. And it was kind of nice to hear people say, like, I've got a crap ton of books I got to pick up today.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Shout
Mark, we absolutely love Pop Comics in Mankato. That place is a gold mine. If you like cheap books, dollar books, any type of things. I wish we could get down there for the holidays, but that's how it goes. Chris, so why is it important to you? I know you kind of jumped in a little bit there, but why is the comic shop important to you?
It's just a fun place to be. Like I just ranted about animation. Like I'm always around animation in a shop. And that's probably the most sacred things to me. That's why I collect old Walt Disney and old, Hanna-Barbera, all that stuff.
Treehouse of Terror. So.
Yeah, everything. But they're just important because, my family sold comics at a drugstore for several years. And it's something that if it isn't propped up by the people that have a history with it or, a stake in it, it will be the first thing to go because it is a business, right? It's a business. And a business has to be profitable to survive. That's just how it is. And, I just think I'd rather spend all my extra money not on coffee. I'll make folders at home in a comic shop. Why not? Because, we all buy silly things all the time. Why not buy a little piece of history with every purchase? Or why not get a great part of a story or complete a story?
Well, like one new book's the price of a cup of coffee, basically.
Right. And I personally, got back into comics running away from my mom passing away. So it was a great escape, and it still is. And it's just a place I really appreciate. All the comic shops, really. So.
Jordan, same question. Why is the comic shop important to you?
Yeah, and so I don't buy a lot of new books. Sometimes I'll buy in a shop, sometimes I'll buy online. Like I bought a few Ghost Rider books on eBay last night. But either way, it's we need to have a clubhouse to be able to hang out and congregate at and
like it.
Kind of like Jericho was talking about, have similar interests and be with like-minded people. And so, I definitely try to spend money in shops, even though, a lot of older books are on eBay and stuff like that, just to make sure that that sort of thing continues.
Yeah, you could be paying a little bit more in the comic shop than you will online sometimes, too.
Mm-hmm.
But the experience is usually matters. That clubhouse experience.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comic shops don't want to be overpriced, and they'll talk to you, but you can't just be like, this book was $8. No, you got to show them some stuff.
you price match it almost. So
Yeah, almost. And that, you gotta. It's a art, and you gotta be reasonable as a consumer, knowing that they're a business, and you know.
and that's something that we'll probably talk about later on is that ideal of cost too at some of the shops because they buy comic books and they want to sell them, but sometimes the market is up and down on books. Nora, I know it's similar. You might be similar to Jericho. You had experience working at a comic shop, so why is it important to you?
Yes. Well, Jericho made a lot of good points, and I agree with them. But yeah, it's a head in my head, and I totally went away. It's important for the community. Like it's a place where everyone can come together um, and just be themselves, and it's important to have shops that are welcoming and willing to cater to all audiences. Like Jericho said, like I loved when families came in and they were like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" Like just for example, like I want to, I would just watch the Across the Spider-Verse movie, and I want Miles, like everyone did, which is great. They saw themselves in a character, and they wanted to buy a comic because they knew that the comic was based on this character. It wasn't just in the movie. So, and I think a lot of like the pop culture stuff being more normalized and stuff really helps with that because kids can feel represented and they can read what they want to read, and I think that's great. So yeah, I love reading comics and just like having that important part of literacy being in communities is very important, and I hope it stays around forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I do miss being working at the store. I really loved it, but things happen, life happens, and there are so many other great stores in the cities. So
Yeah.
And I have seen you light up going
Mhm.
into a comic shop, being on the other side, purchasing books, going visiting a comic shop you never visited before,
Mhm.
like Hot Comics. So I think that's why it's important because, to be honest with you, I didn't visit a comic shop until Nora and I started dating. Really, I mean, I stopped off at the old location of Mind's Eye in Egan a few times,
Yeah, but that was
but
the first time when I was with you that we went to a store together.
mhm,
Yeah.
so
One of these days, Sophia will join us.
Hi, Sophie.
but
Or so, yeah.
I
And-
almost sent her a link. Like, if you're not busy tonight,
yeah, be like, hey, are you drawing? If
Mhm.
you are, show us.
because
Yeah.
previous experience at the comic shop as well.
Yes.
But like we've all said, literacy is important, and I feel like the comic shop's important because it allows families to introduce the books to the kids. You see it on TV, but
Hmm.
then it's like there's a place that we can go to every Wednesday or every weekend that
Hmm.
has the material if you want to read it and visit it. And
Yeah.
it's not just comic books, toys,
Manga.
games,
Well,
manga,
yeah.
um, even like you know, as much as we all here complain, and we've got an entire wall full right next to us, Funko Pop is huge at some comic shops too. I mean, we were just talking to issues about that. So,
Yes.
well, Chris, you hate Funko Pop, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it's a thing that you see at every comic shop you go to. They have,
Yeah.
let's say, a wall, at least one wall of Funko Pop.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have Hot Comics. You guys have Funko Pop, right?
Yes, we do. And
So,
they're still interested in them.
mhm.
So
Well, and it's nice because every store kind of has either its niche thing or they have different focuses or they have their own little ways of, displaying things.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really cool because everything caters to the same people, but in different ways. And it's just unique. So,
heck yeah,
Uh,
Andrew.
Andrew, I love it I love it when I see a kid at the comic shop. I would gladly pay a couple bucks, pay for a couple of books for them to keep the hobby going. Plus, I think new books are pricing out kids. That's
Yeah.
something something we're going to talk about is the future of comic shops. Later on in this discussion, because new comic books are getting pretty pricey.
Yeah.
$5 was basically the average now. Some books. But that's something we're gonna talk about in the future. Well, in a couple of minutes. But to go off that, with Nora's and I's experience at the shop, seeing a kid walk up to you and buying their first book, that's the memory that they're always gonna have. Um, I remember Chris when you did the panel with Joel at the MNCBA, and the conversation was the first comic shop. Remember that?
Yes.
And everybody had, Shinders came up a lot. Comic Book College came up. Uncle Sven's. But then you purposely called on me. And my first comic shop was a little hole in the wall in Grove Heights. I was only there for like a year. And I picked up a miniseries of Lobo. That was my first comic shop experience. And then Nora and I, our relationship's basically been based around going to the comic shop. So I know now I'm getting a little emotional talking about
vested interest.
So what was that?
That's cool.
Vested interest in comic shops when they end.
Mm-hmm.
Nora's moving to Jamaica.
Adios, bye.
Bye.
So now that we talked about why it's important, I want to ask this question. This question is even more of a difficult question to ask or answer. For you, what makes the perfect shopping experience in a comic shop? It's a tough question, right?
Mm.
Well,
a perfect experience at a comic shop.
Like,
well,
if just to make it a little easier, like, what would make you return to a comic shop after the first experience?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll start. I think I framed the question in my head, just experience at a store, right? And in this case, it's a comic or collectibles shop. And so, what makes a perfect one? I don't necessarily believe in perfect, but a good one is a shop that is welcoming, that is inviting, that shares in the energy of the people that have energy for the same stuff. I say that because sometimes I'm overexcited for things, but it's more about matching that energy and being excited for those things. I think service. I think, well, I'll speak from experience. I try my best, sometimes a little too much, that if I can't help you with what I have immediately around here or at my store, that I can tell you everywhere else to go after
the recommendations.
Yeah. And that's something I do because I've been that person hunting for stuff that or didn't know what I was looking for. And having someone kind and patient enough to take the time to show me, to talk to me, to introduce me to new things, and to help me understand what I'm trying to get into, or if I'm finding a gift for a friend or family member. Mm-hmm. So service is important. Pricing is important too. I think when it comes to making purchases, but I think more experientially, if I feel welcome, if I feel like these people are excited to do what they do, which is to help sell me books, right? There's an energy there. And so I think we can all feel it. And sometimes things are a little missed when things are a little bit off. But sometimes it's more than just the shop. It's a combination of the shop, the people that work there, the energy they bring. But yeah, I think a place where people feel welcomed and excited to find things that they're looking for. That's a good start. So.
And I'm sure that all of us here might have something similar to what you just said for this question.
Thanks, Andrew.
Jordan, I'm hopping around. Yeah. I'm just going to be throwing this question to random people right now.
Cool.
All right.
What would make you return to a comic shop or your best experience at a shop?
I mean, well said by Jericho, the welcoming atmosphere where, everyone's excited to be there. I mean, price does help. And especially knowing, I want to kind of feel like I got a deal, whether I negotiated it or I found it or whatever. So price definitely helps, not going to lie. And selection definitely helps. And I think that's the package right there for me.
There you go.
Well, Chris just left. Nora,
Hmm.
for you, what would make the perfect experience to return back to a comic shop?
Kind of like what we touched on before. You know, you want it to be welcoming, organized.
Mhm.
Oh man, I don't know. I just like when you walk into a store, you just kind of know. You're like, oh, this is a good fit. This is the place I like, or um, I guess I don't know. For me, I think it's more. Um, I'm not trying to be like because as a woman, no. I just feel like it's more normalized now, or more so, kind of.
You do
Like,
present something different than the
yeah,
four of us here, so
I'm not a dude. Yeah. No, I think it's. I don't know. I'm literally just my brain is mush. I'm sorry. Um, yeah. I mean, it's a welcoming place. Like it has sections. Like the places I can think of is like it's sectioned out. You know, there's indie books. There's wall books. There's the superhero stuff, the manga, the just it's nice organized on bookshelves, and um, it makes you feel like you're at home, and it's just it's cozy and it's homey. So, or like a place where that could also have like tables and stuff to like have reading groups. I don't know, lots of
I mean,
different things. I
I don't
guess.
completely mind like the industrial warehouse. Like you walk in and there's just like 100 long boxes.
mhm.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Well,
a shop that I'll visit in St. Louis when I'm there where you walk in and there's probably 80, 100 long boxes, dollar books, $2 books, stuff on the floor. And they have like nice stuff up on the wall and they have some other rooms, but like you walk in, it's like, there you are, right there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's a shop that's probably gonna be mentioned later on. You know, a shop that we like to visit that is known for being the warehouse. So, and I think we gotta drop the hint what it's gonna be. But as a comic collector, you always want to go to that shop eventually. But Chris, what would make the perfect experience for you to return to a comic shop?
I like it when it's easy to spend money.
No, but that's good. That's really
Um,
good.
I do. I like it when it's easy to spend money.
But
I
like
don't.
where you almost feel obligated.
No.
But what makes you feel that way? Go. Tell me
Well,
more about. Tell us more about that.
Expand.
I just mean it as far as deals and values. You go ahead.
Keeping up to date on your pricing. Because I buy a lot of books, I can't afford to overpay on every one of them. I'm sorry. I can't. And having good prices, having the product I'm in there looking for, that's big. Being able to BS, banter, a little bit like you're the bartender, Yeah, actually, that's really good. You're the bartender when you work at the store.
You're the
You know,
bookender.
Sell me. I can be sold. Sell me something.
Well, and just to keep on with that idea, sometimes it's not about a hard hand of selling. Sometimes it's just being friendly or just being knowledgeable and familiar with what's out there
The
and trying to match.
experience can
Yeah.
encourage. Yeah.
It doesn't
Because-
have to be a hard sell. It can just be something as friendly and welcoming as suggestions.
It's kind of
Doesn't
like
have to
this.
be
I mean,
complicated.
I have a book right here called Agent of Slam that I'm gonna do a show on Noggin, right? I wouldn't have picked this book up if I didn't hear someone talk about it at the shop. Because it's a kid's book. So I'm like, I have no interest in picking that up. But someone talked that book up to me. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm paying what? $12 for it? So
Just want to shout out Tracy. Hello, Tracy. And hi, Kyra over at Nerd Out.
Yep.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Which they recently got a pretty cool comic collection.
Yeah,
So,
imagine that. Very cool.
Andrew, I feel like I'm a easy sale. Show me something cool for a good price, I'm likely to buy it. Well, that's why you work with Jericho. So.
Do you guys feel that you can negotiate at stores? Like, is that
That's
just
a
a
good
thing
question.
Mhm.
is that just a thing that's known, or do you feel comfortable with that, or do you expect, like Jericho or whatever, do you
I
expect
don't
people
think it's
to do
known.
that?
I don't
Yeah.
think people feel comfortable doing it. And I think expecting used car sales lot strategy in a place of business is going to make you lose a sale.
Sure.
Because when you go into a comic shop, you're not trying to buy a used Honda. You want to buy the product right there. I usually price reference keys that I'm looking for. Shops don't always have, I mean, shops have thousands of books. You can't reprice everything every 5 minutes. You can't.
Yeah.
So help them out. I know some shops are very willing for you to show them, like, you know, fair market value, and then we'll work with you. Some shops I don't know as well as to do that. And I more than likely won't then, I guess, because I don't want to feel weird shopping
Yeah.
on a shop. And I think that's kind of sometimes just bad for business, because then people won't ask, and then people will walk out without spending the 40, 50, 60, $80,000.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. It's no
Typically
guarantee.
ask.
But yeah, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
I'll typically ask. I mean, it's part of the fun for me. The negotiation is something I enjoy in the hobby on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be reasonable too.
Well, yeah, and Jordan, it wasn't at a shop, but it was at a comic show that we got to see a negotiation skills work out. So
Yeah, how did it
Oh.
look?
we walked away. We were like, we don't know how this is gonna come out, but then in a previous episode you talked about that experience at Tennessee Con.
Oh,
For
oh,
you, yeah.
right.
That, yeah.
The
But
It was
misprice.
all right.
the misprice that was actually priced at it was such a weird topic.
Yeah, it really was. I got
Yeah,
you.
Jericho.
You know, something to continue on with what others have already said. I think they're speaking to about the relationship you have with that shop or the people working at that shop, and that sense of community from going there, getting to know them, allowing them to get to know you. Because I don't expect to go anywhere and expect to get any deal, right? But it's nice to know that if I find something there if I find something at a shop, am I comfortable enough to talk to the owner or the manager or someone working and say, hey, I really am interested in this book. Unfortunately, you know, it's a little bit steep. Is there any wiggle room? You know? And you'd be surprised. I'm not here to tell people that should be the tactic every time, because the truth is there are plenty of great books out there at really good prices, and we're not trying to get buy the farm with it all. But I can imagine, depending on the total cost of the item, a store or a shop doesn't want to lose the sale over $5. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah. If your goal price is 85 and I'm holding a line at 80. Now, granted, please understand, I do not hold any of these powers at the shop I work at, but I know that when people are looking, I will tell them to talk to the person that has that power, and many times they're at least willing to have the conversation, right? Because it tells them what people are interested in, and who knows, maybe a different book or will come through that fits their situation better. But don't hesitate to ask. Just remember to be polite. And they're doing business. They'd rather sell books, I believe. And I shouldn't speak for all shops. I want to believe most people that have a business are looking to make money. It's the whole reason you're there, and it's what keeps the doors open. So a balance of that is what's needed.
Nora and I mean, when we were at the shop, we used to be at the shop, people would not really negotiate, but say, hey, this price is a little too high. And then they would ask, is it possible for you to drop that price down?
Sure.
And going off of Kara's statement here about, yeah, I usually work with people if they're being reasonable, also not a jerk.
Yeah.
And that is so true, because if someone comes at you with hostility over the price of a book, most of us that work at a shop are willing to work with you because you actually don't want to lose that money. But if you come at it in a negative way, we're most likely not going to work with you.
Never hurts to not be a jerk.
That's a
Mhm.
really good point. Not regardless of buying comics or not.
Yeah,
Uh,
in life.
Should
uh,
also
and-
be. Can I? If we're talking about supporting shops and stuff and shopping for a minute, it is important that if there is a key that you are looking for, save up, see if they can hold it, buy it, because shops, if you know anything about the business, shops need you to buy back issues. And not back issues from last week. They need you to buy back issues from years ago because that's where they're going to make their money.
This doesn't make any money for the shop.
No,
So
makes none.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a service to the community. New comic books.
somebody
Hey,
once
Amy.
someone once told me that new comic books are window dressing. It's to bring you in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, and to be quite honest, I don't think I'm letting anyone peek behind the curtain, but shops don't stay in business simply because of new comics, right? I think
Yeah.
that's important to know, whether you think of them as window dressing, but like it's everything else that the shop offers that helps keep those doors open. And the new comics is obviously a nice way to get something new regularly in, to get people and customers familiar with the products that you sell and the characters and the stories. But it's definitely, and I assume we're gonna talk about different modes of shops and
Mhm.
how they operate. But no, new comics is just one aspect that brings people in the door.
I mean, and some of the shops that we've been to, like for example, Hot Comics. You guys have Hot Toys. You guys have highly priced figures sometimes.
Yeah.
People who are going in to buy new comic books, if they see that, that's not what they intended to purchase originally. So you're looking at a huge swing from a $4 book to $400 or $500 statue potentially.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's really interesting, when you look at those interests and what people put their money towards, or just what they're into. So
just a heads up, Andrew. This is on 3 different pages. So when comments come on, it's coming on different. Like we were in the exchange group. We're on Noggin Comics YouTube. We're on the exchange fan page and Noggin fan page. So we're all over the place right now. Tracy, when I lived in Delaware, the comic shop I went to had a ladies' night. I loved it. It was great. I didn't feel so alone or like a girl who collects comics. Now, that's interesting.
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask this question. Chris and Jordan, you could come in, but I don't think maybe you guys have a response to it. But why let the shop? Do you see a female-heavy presence? No,
I can't.
Oh,
I can't
sorry.
say it's heavy, but we definitely have our women customers, our female customers. I wish I could say that we saw more, or that we had more, but we definitely have ours. And I think it's important, especially as a business or a salesperson, to make sure everyone, no matter who they are, when they come in, if anyone's been in the shop when I'm working, I say hi to everyone when they're here. I offer help while they're here, and I say thank you every time they leave. Right?
Mhm.
I touch base 3 points every time in hopes to let them know that I'm here to help them. I'm here to to be supportive, and that they're welcome. And so I look at every opportunity when customers come in. It's okay if you don't buy anything. I hope you come back. And I think that's important. And I think sometimes there's this anticipation that every time you come in somewhere that you have to buy something. And I don't have that pressure on people that come in. I know that if I can show them a good time and that we have a lot of fun stuff that's worth coming back to check out, that we're going to be appreciative and thankful that you came in. And so I that's the way I go. I can't make people come in here, but I can give you a reason to come back. And so that's the way I go. So
Hey, Nora, I think Joker's trying to get you to come to Hot Comics.
No, I mean I agree with everything you said. It's very true.
No.
Like, yeah.
And honestly, I know Hot Comics gets a lot of plug on this place, but we have, and I've always said this, we've got amazing shops all over the place. And if anyone's ever talked to me, you know that I have a hard time shutting up about all the amazing shops.
You're an
but,
infomercial, yes.
Well, I just want people to have the information and they can go seek
Yeah.
things out and make those decisions. And if I can help with that, I'm happy to. If I'm annoying about that, then I'm sorry.
Well, I think Jericho,
But-
you're gonna be the commercial for the MCE soon. So
Oh, I don't want to do that. I think we have far more attractive and talented people that we can wrangle in for that. But I'm happy that anyone that comes out and supports our shop or any of the local shops, we do this together. I really do think about that. And then there's enough out here for all of us to get a cut. Maybe some people want more or what have you, but no, I look at it as a group thing. And so I'm happy to be a part of it. I work with amazing people, so it's really cool.
Nora, it looks like you were gonna touch on that subject of women in comic shops.
Yes. No, I can't remember. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I wish that, from what I recall, it wasn't as steady. Having those. There were a handful of women regularly coming in I could think of. People with kids. But I mean, I'd love to see more. Like just earlier today, I saw a woman walk in where we were at and kind of look around. I almost was like gonna ask her, "Oh, can I?" I didn't want to step in though, but yeah, it's just cool to see, whether it's with their family or just people who are wanting to read comics or just get a feel for what's there. It's important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's not just a comic shop. I know Chris, Jordan, all of us, we've had a conversation about trying to get more women involved with the exchange as well.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
there's been that idea floating around now for a couple, probably months, about potentially having a female-centric podcast or live stream happening.
Or just
And-
different conversation points and stuff.
Because I'm sure Nora,
Places to gather.
I'm sure you and the people who've commented on here could get together and talk about subjects that the four of us wouldn't even think about.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
now-
it's just about added perspective. It
Yeah.
really is. I think the more different perspectives we can bring on, I think people are able.
Oh,
Joker, just stand up and
you cut off there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he saw something.
Sorry, guys. I got a guy standing at my door showing me cards.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I just hope he goes. All right,
Yeah.
he's gone. Sorry.
I was like, did you get attacked by a ghost or something?
He just stood up and
Stood up like,
Well, I
Yeah.
couldn't see
Holding
the
the magic
door.
cards on the glass.
he's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
yeah.
It's not my first rodeo. I'm not coming into the door for that card.
Tracy, I'm here to support any way I can. You are like family to me.
Mm.
And we got a little off topic there, but
Yeah.
that's important. The comic shop has become like a family to most of us.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
looks like we just lost Chris and Jericho for a little bit.
Or they're coming back.
I really hope Jericho comes back.
Yeah.
Hope
He's
he's
probably
not-
that
hope-
guy may not have gone away fully.
I apologize. It was one of those things I wasn't anticipating. But
Did you
Did
get
he
attacked by
take you
Gambit?
out?
Yeah.
No attack. I am fine. It was one of those things. I'm just sitting here quietly doing this thing, and then I hear a banging on the door. So I was just
Yeah.
checking that out. Sorry about that.
Magic cards.
Come outside. Nah, dude. Nah,
No.
man. We're in
Nope,
North Minneapolis.
I am
This ain't
sleeping in here
savage.
tonight.
I hope
Look both ways when you walk outside, dude.
he's- Thank you.
See a flying card come at you. I know
Yeah.
you're a fan of Gambit, but not that bad. So
Yeah. I would honestly like to hear more, if not necessarily here, but from Tracy in regards to the ladies' night and what that entailed. I think anytime you can have a reason to get people together and just do whatever. And honestly, I'd imagine everyone would be included, something special for the ladies. But
Yeah.
no, I'd like to see that. And I also here in the MCE, not to be disingenuous, but we'd like to see everyone here. And so if you don't see yourself here, let people know. Let us know what we as admins of this group can help facilitate others or for your friends and family joining. Sometimes we don't know. And
well,
so
I know that Jordan we've been having this ideal that at the next show that could potentially include that more people than usual. So if that can come to fruition, that's gonna be awesome too. So
We'll see. I'm
um,
hopeful.
nothing's gonna be until something's confirmed. And we're not gonna announce it, but there's potentially a
Agreed.
chance that more people could be at the MCE show in the bigger capacity. Tracy said that happy to help out with that, Jericho. So,
No, it'd be interesting. It'd be awesome. Just curious to pick your brain and see what that was like, because it definitely seemed like something that you were interested in. And if we can replicate that, or maybe even improve on what they were doing, like to see what that looks like. So, thank
I
you.
know that. Sorry, Kyle. I know that the source. This was like how many years ago?
oh, you're
5,
talking
6?
about Share
They
Maiden?
had they had the Shield Maidens
Yep.
group that did not last long, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because when we were going there, I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. But I think with my schedule, I couldn't make it work with. Yeah.
Now, see, you spend too much time around me. Now you're like, I
Now
should
I'm
make
like,
it work.
how can I spin this in my head? Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
Oh,
take a call from my wife and my cousin.
Oh,
But
wow.
they're
the
separate.
beanies are done. We got some beanies coming.
We got some upcoming merch.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's about
I know
time.
Michael will want one.
Oh,
What'd you say?
I know Andrew will want one.
dude,
I know.
this beanie, I've worn it so much now that I think it's wearing through. So,
Good. Good.
That's impressive.
well, you can ask Nora. Like, I don't leave the house without it on now. So,
Well, you're
So
bald.
you're saying it stinks.
yeah, it smells bad
Bald people need to keep their head warm at all times.
at all times. So.
Is that a rule?
Yes.
Well, you're not bald.
Being bald.
You would find out.
Yeah, that's a bald secret. So, you know.
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble.
Jericho's got nothing to worry about anytime soon.
No, you say that and watch me get jinxed. But just so you know, I'd trade it all for what you guys have. So just
What's that?
know that the head of hair is nothing, man. I'd rather come home to someone that loves me and
Well,
have a
hey.
future with and life. F the
Trust me.
hair, dude.
I don't know if I don't know if Nora loves me or not sometimes.
Well,
Whoa.
she pretends well.
Yeah. Well, this conversation is getting off topic pretty fast right
Yeah,
now.
let's not go into this whole thing
I'm
here.
sorry. I apologize.
So
Weird.
going back
Yeah,
to the
that
comic
dark
shops, I
path.
mean,
What?
we've still kind of been talking about the comic shop in a way, but without saying any names, so I know it's gonna be difficult. Can you give an example of your best and your worst experience at a comic shop? Andrew would love to dive into your love life, Jericho.
it's there is none. Read a comic, man.
I don't want to
It's
get
far
into
more
the bad experiences. I don't know if I want to have that negative energy myself, but
How bad is it?
it was no.
I think about the magical times I was a kid and that got me hooked on comics and stories and art. And it's different when I think about the positive, because like you're a child and I was easily impressionable and I was just amazed by everything at that point. But if I think about a really positive experience, is running into other people that you didn't know were into comics or that were into comics and you just sort of ran into them with a shop. And it may not have had anything to do with the shop themselves, but that kind of impromptu kind of spur of the moment, like, oh my God, you're here, and running into folks that maybe you haven't seen. I know being around comics for a long time, you meet a lot of people, you go to shows and trade books and what have you. And I don't know where I was going with this, because then I realized that the shop that it happened at was the shop I work at. So darn it, I was trying to bring up another shop.
Just another sales pitch for hot comics.
Well, not necessarily. It was more,
I'm just kidding.
I was trying to speak to that sense of community and running into people that I met when I was buying books at Schindler's in the 90s. Lo and behold, they're still hucking books in the late 2000s, you know? And, you know, it's a continued, I find it's fun for me. It's a small world. We run into each other a lot, sometimes not as much until you recognize that they're standing right over there. But
if to put it in perspective, I mean, all of us met each other at a comic shop at one
yeah,
point. So
yeah.
I mean,
I don't have any negative situations. Sometimes I always wish they were better interactions, but I think it's the more memorable, positive ones that I always think of.
Andrew, I went to a shop in Denver and saw there was no prices on any of the books. He said he doesn't price them. He looks them up on eBay. This was during the comic boom, so I was pretty upset about that. Tracy, my nephew is now collecting comics because he sees how happy it makes me.
Yeah.
We are both excited about the second season of What If Season 2 coming out next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
But Andrew is actually on to something. That's kind of where the pricing does matter with books. And I've seen Nora and I've gone to shops. You know, when we visited New York or Chicago, we stopped in shops. There is a different type of Neil comic archives and AV in the 90s as a kid, Temple of Doom pinball, Calitaire, spending all my allowance every weekend, great memories.
Yes.
Neil, good to see you, bud. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for sharing, man. Really, genuinely.
Before we continue this, Jordan and Chris, did you? I can't remember. Did you collect comics as kids or go to a comic shop?
I did. Yep.
Yes.
I sure did.
Comics and sports cards, and action figures.
Tell us your stories.
And trains.
Man.
One word.
Such a long time.
In one word.
Well, Nora and I didn't go to comic shops as a kid. So
yeah. I mean, the shops in biking distance when I was a kid was Uncle Sven's and Mac Groveland, the Source. Then right on the edge of where I could go was Midway Bucks.
Nice.
So those three stores. I was trying to think of which one was the first. I think Midway Books. Cause I think my dad wanted some books or something. But I honestly don't really know. I'll have to think about that more. Or maybe it's a dark horse. Maybe it's Schindler's. I don't know.
Well, Chris, I know that you brought up the panel that you did at MNCBA, but you talked about your first experience as well. So
yeah, I used to go into a lot of bookstores in Minneapolis. I lived in Minneapolis off Elliott Street until I was 4, so I was always in like the Minneapolis. My dad's huge into sci-fi. So we were always in Uncle Hugo's a lot. I was in Schindler's a lot. Everywhere. He kind of quit collecting, in like 1980. And then it was all sci-fi. So if we were going into a shop, it was because I wanted to go. Because otherwise he'd be more into the bookstores, Dreamhaven, Uncle Sven's. Or not Uncle Sven's, sorry, Uncle Hugo's.
Uncle Hugo's, yeah.
Yeah, but I also had comics all around me as a kid because they had them at the drugstore, my grandparents' drugstore. So.
Yeah, and it might have been a drugstore for me too.
Yeah.
I can't exactly place it.
Yeah. I think my first place before Schindler's was literally like a Snyder Brothers or Walgreens spinner rack down the block from where my mom was working. I go spend some time. But yeah, sort of the odd places as well.
Now, I know a lot of us are focusing on the positivity of the comic shop.
It's back.
Yeah. The reason why I brought up the worst experience is it's been something we've been talking about this whole time, and it is that building the community and almost the communication of the person who's in the shop and the buyer. Because if you don't have that, if you walk into the shop and no one says hi to you, or no one recognizes that you are in the shop, that can dictate if you're going to buy something or not.
Yeah.
And I know that Nora and I have had that experience. We've walked into the shop and we didn't even get acknowledged. They didn't even get acknowledged coming in or leaving. And it was almost like that's for us. That's why comic shops are important to us, because we have that conversation every time we walk in with somebody. Even if it's a bookstore, like we mentioned Dreamhaven here.
Yeah.
Nora and I seriously would spend more time talking to the people than actually looking at the books.
Mhm.
So for worst experience, that was going to be what I was going to bring up, is just walking into the shop, or Nora being looked at as someone that's not going to buy a book because she's a female. And that has happened before.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't know what I'm looking for or what I want, or buying it for myself, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're
I mean-
buying
I
a
will
book for your,
say,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, I mean, generally speaking, if I walk in, I can't really find anything I'm looking for, and prices seem high, and wall books seem like high prices. I know it's not like a community relationship kind of thing, but that's a big turnoff for me.
Yeah. But that's a
Mhm.
business decision, right?
Mhm.
Because we're doing a balance. We're doing work in affecting multiple things, and so finding a balance where you can do good business, but also provide welcoming service, I think, is what most try to strive for.
Yeah, definitely that combination.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like us being in Minnesota is very lucky too, because the majority of the shops here will recognize you and even know you by name if you're in there
Sure.
once or twice. So
Yeah, they welcome you back. I mean, that's just
Mhm.
kind of how it is, right? You know, they're
I mean-
glad to have you back, and they're glad to see you back. Yeah.
look, Jericho, you used to yell our name or walk into the door.
Yeah.
So that's how
Yeah.
we knew that we were welcome back into the shop. We know when we go to the comic shop every Wednesday, we know who to expect to see there. But when there's somebody new, like, hey, who are you? Let's get to know each other. There's just today there was a new kid working at the shop that we never met before.
Oh,
So-
not you, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't met him. Today was the first time I've been in the shop in 2-3 weeks. So,
Sure.
okay, but I'll go on to the next one. This next one could hopefully be positive about this question.
Let it rip.
Where do you see the comic shop in the future?
The brick and mortars.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people do buy online.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen a transition from Marvel and DC being the top sellers to now manga being the top seller, and that's increasing the sales in comics. So where do you see the comic shop going from here?
I do not see an ending of a brick and mortar platform for shops. I think it's how and what we'll see in those shops and how they operate business differently. I think one of the easiest things to recognize is that it takes diversifying product. Let's be honest, comic shops alone don't keep the doors open, right? You better sell magic cards. You better sell Pokemon. You have to have something to supplement that income,
Mhm.
to keep things going.
Plus,
So
it's probably a cross-marketing opportunity where, maybe some of the kids coming in for cards end up buying comics.
Mhm.
No, there's a lot of different things that go into it, but yeah, definitely having the product, making sure it's competitively priced enough for people to feel that it's a good deal and want to take it home. There's a lot of different factors that go in there. But let me tell you, if you're not feeling welcomed, if you don't feel that people pay attention to you or appreciated, I can forgive a lot of things: dirty bathroom, messed up racks. But
Mhm.
if I don't feel safe, or more importantly, if I don't feel welcome or appreciated, that I'm even taking the time to look through your boxes, that sets a tone. I set the tone with me as both a customer and an employee. And so trying to keep those things in mind, I think it's less about specifically comics and just how people interact with the things they're wanting to buy.
Chris, you gonna say something?
got to pivot. You pivot or die. I would like the comic shops to be like the railroad. Does that make sense to anybody else but me? Where
No.
they're still there.
You want my
you
grandparents
collect
building
trains. So
No, the railroad used to be the number one transportation, right? The railroad was essential to the growth of this country. I would love comic shops to find a place where they're indestructible like the railroad. Now the railroad isn't what it used to be, but it's sure here because I hear trains all the time honking their horn down on the other side of Highway 13.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I think everybody loves shopping in their underwear, and if you say you don't, you're lying. And maybe not Jericho; he's afraid of the internet. But
I am.
But you know, if somebody can buy your inventory at 2 a.m. while you're sleeping, that's passive income. You know, kind of. But you know what I mean? Like if you're sleeping and I can go buy $100 worth of product from you and then pick it up in store where you don't even have to go ship it. Come on now. And I know infrastructure, right? That's infrastructure. And I think sometimes comic shops have gotten lucky because they haven't had to maintain infrastructure like the rest of the business world. And I think that's going to be a big gap. Because, you know, go Google how much it costs to have a crappy app. It's 5 figures, and it's not entry 5 figures. So,
you know, I mentioned Nora and I going to New York and stopping off at Midtown Comics. Midtown has their own app. That app, know what that app is though? It takes you to the website. That's it. That's all that it is. It's a link to the website.
And it probably
I haven't seen it, but it seems like a missed opportunity if that's all it does. But at least they have something to work off of, so there's a positive there.
But yeah, using social media, using the internet is important for the growth of comic shops, I feel. Because if you're not
I totally agree.
If you're not seen, you can go to Amazon and get that trade, or go to eBay and get that issue for a cheaper price. So
yeah. I mean, I hope comic shops are always around because there's always going to be, you know, people who want those comics, who want, you know, say even like, I don't know, artwork, original artwork, or artwork in general, or, you know, the manga, the statues, the figures. So, I mean, I just hope more people prioritize shopping locally over big box stores. I mean, you can't really tell people what to do. But yeah, I just hope they're always around. Will that be, you know, will that actually happen? I don't know. We can't predict the future, but
we are seeing this weird trend that we're seeing comic shops close, but then we see a new comic shop open somewhere else. It's like comic shops have been here forever or closing, and these new ones are opening up then too. So, talking about well, Jordan, do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really. I think a lot of good points were made.
Well, I think, Kyle, before you move on, I think with the people, you know, with these new stores kind of popping up, I think a lot of people kind of have to combine the comic shop into something else too, almost like a comic shop or gaming, you know, bring your own game, sit down, comic shop coffee, comic shop, excuse me, like, you know, just having a different, I guess, vibe to a store. Like, I can't remember the name of that store that I think ended up closing down that had comics and coffee in a different state. And it was Black owned, I think.
Well, yeah, and
maybe not. But anyway, like there's one in this state, isn't there?
Yeah, I would say moving on to the next topic. I'm going to mention that shop because the shop we haven't visited yet.
Yes.
So the next question that I have: if you could visit one comic shop that you haven't been to yet, what shop would that be?
Like at any place.
Any place.
Oh, excuse me.
Ooh.
While you think, I just want to add one thing to the last question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody can open a business. It mainly has to do with your own personal finances over anything else. So, who's to say? I think we're pretty close to market saturation for stores being able to employ workers and make a living themselves. Because we are a metropolitan area where, like, I don't know, a crazy percentage, 80% or more lives in a 90-mile radius of the airport. How many more shops can open before it affects one drastically in sales? Something I think about all the time.
It's a conversation you and I have often too. So.
Yes. Yes, it is. Because people would be like, hey, Chris, do you want to open a store? I never wanted to open a store for the Minnesota Comic Exchange. Not once, because who wants overhead? I just want to buy books. But yes, that's very important to add. Anybody can start a business, and it doesn't have anything to do with how successful you will be. It means you have a good credit score and a bank will back you. Or somebody with money will. So
I wanted to add that Nora's point was something that I thought was a different topic or a later conversation, but in regards to she really hit on something there. Is that something that I was hinting at? Is that the standard comic book shop has to change. We don't see any just comic shops anymore. Even the ones we all go to have additional product, and that is for a reason. And I think finding the combination to have a sustainable business with multiple interests in it is sort of the key. And I think we've seen positive examples that are successful, and we've seen other ones that we'll just say has many areas of opportunity, right? But there's people trying, because at least many shops and businesses recognize that you've got to do something different. So, and I think that's also the challenge. I think a hobby shop like a comic shop or a card shop, a lot of them have an idea of what they want, and the idea and the reality of making it happen and realizing that the comics alone are not going to make it. So having to adjust that plan, even making changes to that dream, can be hard. But I think to be sustainable and to stick around, it requires some of that perspective.
Yep. Well, and that's to go into the next topic. Nora, you mentioned that the shop that shut down, that was a coffee shop in another state. It was a comic shop and a coffee shop. Well, we now have something like that in Minnesota, Hot Off the Press Comics. And that's one of in Austin, Minnesota, right?
yes.
Yep.
So what's this question? If there's a shop that I could, if you could visit one shop, what would it like to be? In the state of Minnesota, it would be that one. We've never visited that shop. But outside of that, it's Mile High in Denver. Just to check out that shop.
Really? I thought you'd say Torpedo.
Well, Conchilo, I mean, that's high-value books, mostly.
Yeah.
So.
Are we answering that question? Which shop?
What was that, Chris?
I want to go to I Want More Comics. It's the second biggest operation in Colorado to the museum that is Mile High Comics.
So, which is honestly like, when I've heard people ask this question, no one said that before. So.
Which one? I Want More Comics?
Yep.
Most people don't know about it. It's a great shop. I love following them, and I will buy from their claim sale. I know them through Paul Z and Heroic Goods and Games. Great shop. I dig it. Check them out if you want. But don't buy the books I'm interested in.
You said that about every shop that you go to.
Don't ever get them. They're cursed for you guys except me.
Sometimes it's more of a threat, it seems like.
Hey, I was smiling.
That's the creepy part of it. You were smiling.
That's right.
Jordan, do you have a shop that you would like to go to?
Not really one specifically. All those sound good. I think just one that's like a huge spectacle, like a couple that came up, like yeah, like Torpedo or Mile High. But not really one I'm set on.
Just stay in Minnesota.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Huh.
I'll just think about it as it comes up. That's kind of how I roll.
I know every time that we're planning a vacation or if you're going to leave the state, I'm like, okay, what comic shops in that state?
We go on vacations?
we might be going on vacation in April. But Nora, yeah, if there's a comic shop that you would want to visit locally or in this, in the US, what shop would it be?
I don't know if I can think of a particular one. Like, say for instance, if we were in the Chicago area or something, if we plan to go out to convention somewhere, just to kind of see what they have locally. Like, if we do go to Chicago this year, C2E2, yeah, maybe hit up. I don't think we have in the past.
Graham Cracker?
Graham Cracker or other places in the city, like on our way there, on our way back. Oh, you got Neil saying he wants to visit Jericho. Do you work weekends, or is it?
Yeah.
Sunday.
I will
Sundays.
be. My days at the shop are normally Thursday evenings, 4 to 7 or 4 to close, and on Sundays 11 to 5. I work the open to close on Sundays. Neil, we'd be happy to see you, man. Come by, hang out.
Yeah. And Jericho's been berating me to come up there. He's like, just try
I
it up
have
there.
not. No.
They'll give you reasons to return, Nora.
I know. We gotta go up there too. I know.
Hey, all those boxes by the register? Don't buy any of those. Those are mine.
Oh, okay. Well,
You guys know Nora. If you want the book, she's not going to buy it. She has no interest in buying old books. So,
That's all right.
Yeah.
We got lots of books. We got books for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
and Andrew, Nora and I, we're attempting to go there as Noggin.
Yeah, that's gonna come through in like 10, 15 days, maybe. Yes or no?
Probably New Year's.
Yeah. Even if we don't get passes, we're gonna try. I mean, we might know someone who's going as an artist. I mean, I don't know.
It's the only time I can shop for books without that Andrew guy at my ankles nipping at me, like screaming about books, is when he's at C2E2. So I can't wait. I'll be here. Books.
April 26th or 28th.
It is. Like, I think C2E2 is a great show. It's close. It's so much fun. I think I would recommend everyone going to that show at least once in their life. I don't think you'll regret it. I know people aren't people crowd people. I get that, but it's just so fun. Like,
it was our
there's
first
something there
show
for everybody. Yeah. Sorry.
Unless the wife makes me, I'm not getting that before I get the rest of the Incredible Hulk, or I'm not going to a big show like that. I need the Hulk first.
I mean, Chris has his priorities. Other people have their priorities.
That's a priority. That's definitely a priority to have. Jericho, I'm going to ask you the question.
Yeah.
Is there a shop locally or in the U.S. that you would like to visit?
No.
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 Just hot comics. Only hot comics.
No. There isn't a national shop that I'm familiar with that I'm really interested in, and maybe one does. I'm more interested in like the shop themselves. Like, I would love to go to a comic shop that looks and feels like a classic bookstore, right? And I haven't seen one of those. I think the last one that I felt was the one in downtown Washington and 10th. Gosh, what was that one? They used to have stamps on the bags. I can't think of it. But I forgot that the question was in the U.S. because my answer or response was I'd love to go see what a shop internationally looks like.
Yeah.
To see what books that they feature, what books they curate.
I do know from someone going firsthand, if Sophia's still on here, she went to one in Spain, and they don't do single issues. They do like hardbound 2 or 3 issues type thing.
And they look beautiful too.
Yeah. So I think that's cool, but everyone's different with that stuff.
We also have an exchange member, Mariah, that went to
Yeah.
went to shops internationally.
Was it like Ireland or something?
I
Maybe?
can't remember where she went.
I think it was somewhere out in that area where she was at. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. But I mean, I love books too. So if I could plug, I mean,
You want to go to Seattle and Washington area?
I do want to go to the biggest bookstore ever in the U.S., which is in Powell's Books in oh my God, Washington State,
Mhm.
right? Portland. No, it's in Portland. Portland.
So,
I want to go to Emerald City Con, but the reason I would go to that one is I have family in Seattle I can stay with, and that automatically saves a bunch of big book money.
yeah. Well,
Nora, what's the shop in Portland?
Powell's. I think it's
Okay.
Powell's Book. It's like open
Huge.
like insane hours, and it's like 3 stories, I think.
Cool. I'm sending my daughter to Portland for the holidays. I'm gonna have her pick me up a shirt there.
Yeah, I think it's Powell's. Here we go. Powell's
That
City
or-
of Books.
That or an Image T-shirt from the
Ooh.
Image place.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're open like almost 12 hours each day.
Thank you.
Did you get Taco Bell?
Let's continue. Let's continue.
Hey, no shame. There's no shame.
Didn't you have tacos for lunch?
No,
Didn't you have
it's
double
not.
tacos?
It's not tacos. It's not. Tacos.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Let's please talk comics.
We are gonna get a
No.
sponsorship by Taco Bell the next episode.
We can go back
But
to
just
books.
just to add on to my response, I would love to see like a top end manga anime shop in Japan and to see how they curate a store, not just the type of books, but they sell books differently, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
that kind of thing fascinates me.
Mhm.
And then also I would love to go to the Philippines or Brazil because they're nice countries to go vacation, and I could pick up books there when I have time.
Yeah.
But I also would like to see how they curate their store, because are all the books in in their native language, or is there a focus on U.S. English type reading books? And
Yeah.
just getting a feel for that kind of scene. I don't know. Is it different? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just everyone speaking Portuguese, and it's like comics. Which
Is
would be
Andrew
weird.
sleeping in his car at C2E2, or is he getting bed bugs from the motel?
Yeah, dude. I think
That-
he means total with tickets and hotel, but yeah, still.
No,
Kinda
because
no. I
we
don't
looked
know.
at
or
we
does he
looked at
know somebody that he's
My wife
staying
works
with?
in the hotel business, and she cannot
Air-
get
Airbnb.
Airbnb? Do you know somebody in the
maybe
area?
you're renting somebody's recycling bin. I don't know.
I mean,
Because what I can tell you right now is that Nora and I are looking at just hotel about $700.
yeah, it's like I was gonna say.
So
Yeah.
um,
Oh.
You know what else is $700?
the comic book.
Low grade copy of Hulk 5 and 6 together.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though: would you want to buy that and piss off your wife?
Okay.
Or
That
go
makes
on a
sense.
trip
What
with your
what
wife?
Andrew said. That's
Yeah.
definitely splitting the cost.
Yeah, then that's then
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
That makes
Jamie would be cool with it.
Now, Nora, would
Yeah.
you be okay if I did that?
what? Splitting the cost?
No, if I spent that $700 on a comic book and not go on a vacation with you.
We'd have to have some conversation about this, but
So
Does
yeah.
that conversation include a baseball bat?
No.
it's under my foot right now.
I mean, I do have one.
No, you don't. It's under my feet right now.
Okay.
So
Don't have one near me, but yeah,
we have a Harley
No.
Quinn baseball bat in here.
we do.
Andrew, you seen how big I am. You really want to share space with me?
He's
I'm
not
gonna
take-
talking about you. He's not
Hey.
talking about you.
Yeah, but I told him that when I go to C2E2, I'm going to go with him. Like,
I thought you said you never want to go, ever.
this is between me and Andrew.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this conversation.
All right.
Okay, so I have one final question.
No, I'm just kidding.
And Chris, you kind of already answered this one, that you didn't want to do this for the exchange. But if you had the opportunity to own a comic shop, would you take that opportunity?
He already. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Unless I won like $1 billion lottery and I could buy every comic shop from every owner in Minnesota, and then I'd like conglomerate it and make sure that they're just always there forever somehow.
It's a fun
But that'll
idea.
never
I like
happen.
that. We can dream.
That'll never happen. And also, I sometimes, honestly, even running the exchange sometimes, puts me off the comics for a minute. And I think, and then I kind of go back to Timberwolves collecting for a few seconds. But then, yeah, man, I think that would ruin it for me. And I think a comic shop owner or some of them might say, yeah, I kind of dimmed it a little bit for me. Sometimes it's cool to have hobbies. And sometimes it's okay for your hobbies not to be your job. And I'm a big advocate of that. So that's where I would be on it. I would work at a shop. I would, just because it'd be fun. But I don't need to be the main man.
Main man, yep. Jordan, how about you? How about yourself?
I don't think I'd want the responsibilities of the front of the store. Personally, making sure the inventory stays on and making money, meeting payroll, all that.
Jericho,
Yes, sir.
if you could be the main man in charge and have your own comic shop, would you take that opportunity?
I think I would.
I knew
wouldn't
he was
mind
gonna say that.
If the timing's right. I have other priorities that I put my dreams and aspirations aside for. But if I had the time, energy, and it didn't take me away from those other priorities, I'd love that opportunity. But until then, I'm happy to put my skills and whatever half-assed talent I have to use at another shop. It's okay. I just love selling books. I like sharing energy and seeing people get excited about stuff. So if I get to do that, whether I'm the owner of the shop or not, I'm okay. But I think it'd be fun. And I think it's silly. I think it's one of those things of, if you read comics, you always want to shop and whatnot. And I think as you get older, you realize the ins and outs of it. And it's far more work than the dream is. So the reality of it, I'm well aware of the work it takes, but I think I'd still be up for it. I think it's fun. I've managed lots of different things, and I'd love another shot at a shop. So
now, I know the answer to this, Nora.
Then what is it?
No chance in hell for you.
Yeah, no.
I
know the answer for you though.
Yeah, and
I think.
But yeah, for those who know me, you know what everything that's gone down. But I would still go through it, and if I had the finances, I would totally own the shop if I could.
You do realize what you're talking about is also us, right?
So,
I'm just kidding. I'm giving you crap.
Neil, I wouldn't want to own the story. I agree with Chris. I'm enjoying having comics as a hobby again. Love being a humbled employee and chatting with people. But I do agree, just going in for the books again.
Do enjoy just going in, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, like Chris said, the work-life balance is important, very important, and I just from the behind the scenes that I got, I saw a lot, and I guess I just wouldn't want to lose my passion for what I love, and what Kyle and I have. I don't know. There'd be a lot of change, and you can make it. You can make it work, but there would be a lot of roads to travel. We'll say
sacrifices and commitments and all that. But yeah, I mean, it is a hard job to own the shop, and I believe that all of us know shop owners who, tell us you will lose that passion. You would hate books. So
definitely have to have a knack for getting out there and making deals and finding collections and stuff like that. At least to run a shop the way I would want to run a shop.
You would want a revolving inventory in the shop. Something that when you
Yeah.
come in, something's new.
And a lot of back issues, which means they have to come from somewhere.
Back and even going back to what Jericho was saying though too previously is not just comic books though too. Bring in the stuff that's going to bring other people in as well.
Right. True.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep.
I think if they honestly, if there was like a roller grill, I'd be in a comic shop way longer. I'd be like, you gotta
if you have some food, so
you got those
Yeah.
like mini Godfather's pizzas holiday has grab chairs. I'm gonna be
Well-
there eating pizza.
Well, that's what I was
for
kind of
any-
saying, right? Like mix the two together.
for any future entrepreneur that's watching this, you know, if you have comics and Godfather pizza, Chris will be there.
I'm hungry.
You can
Hungry.
make that into a store. A store.
I'm gonna
Godfather.
make a shirt that says I'm hungry for both, and then it's gonna say comics and pizza on the back.
Oh, they're the shop Moon Palettes. You know, it's books, and
Yeah.
they have the Nerd Cafe in back. I don't know if Nerd Cafe is still open.
I think
That's-
yeah, with COVID, I think that unfortunately curtailed it.
But-
But
They used to have pizza, chicken wings, and beer.
yeah, they had a little bar in the back. It was awesome.
Yeah. So
That
Chris-
that store, Moon Palace, is right by Paul
Halsey's.
Heroic
Chris.
Goods store. So
Hey, Chris, I think we need to trademark that for the MCE.
Well, I'm gonna design it tonight. So there's already intent. See you in court.
Wait, who's going to court? What happened here?
I blacked out. What happened?
We do not have this recorded.
but yeah, we're getting at that time that I said it would happen. You know, that marking. I called it.
Well, it's funny
He
because
is.
like, I'm just fat at heart.
It's honorary. I gave it to him.
We had Chick-fil-A before coming on, and I'm getting hungry already.
I was
So-
gonna say I could go for some if Jericho went to Taco Bell. Go for
So-
some of that.
He's like, it's not Taco Bell.
It's not Taco Bell.
All right. So that's all I have for the comic shops. You guys have anything else you guys want to add?
Looks like Jordan's sitting on his throne over there, all cozy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we had a little drama last week. We don't have much. I just want people to know if you have concerns, you can video call me with a text message beforehand to ask if I'm available. You may text me at all times.
You're gonna give everyone your phone number now?
No, on Facebook you can text me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You
Hey,
can be respectful because I will go to bat for my team. And I will take it personally because we spend a lot of time trying to just, prop up the community and show you guys awesome books and just be a sounding board for the community. Your experiences, everything. Why did I pick the word exchange? You can exchange comics, you can exchange ideas, you can exchange anything you want. You can exchange, not anything you want, but you can exchange like the ideas, you can exchange conversation. It's all that, and this is a welcoming place. I want it to be drama free.
So you bring up a very good statement about the word exchange, because in the past we've had that disagreement with people, not here, but people who didn't understand what the exchange was. Everyone thought that it was just a place you can buy and trade comic books,
Which you can.
and you can. It's also very, very much more than that too. I mean, how often? There we go. Jericho, is it tacos? I think we want.
He's always eating tacos during my
He's like talking about his bag, his
It was
car.
Wendy's.
Call and I'll be deep into a rant. I won't even be seeing him, and I'll hear
He's like a crunch of a fry. He's
I'll be like, "Did you just bite into a hard shell taco?" He's like, "No."
I apologize. I
You
tried
gotta
really hard
eat,
to be
dude.
more
No,
professional.
dude, we're just giving you
Sorry.
crap.
You
I
gotta
know,
eat.
man, but I'm trying my best here.
There was nothing professional about a live stream.
Yeah,
I
there's
know,
nothing.
but I don't want to be the reason that the whole thing's low class.
Oh my god, no.
I'm also gonna make it more of my business again to share more shops. I did, not for a little bit. Things got busy for me in my personal life, and yeah, so can't always share them all. I can only share the ones I see, and I'm not obligated to share them. I share them because I want to, and because I want people to see the stuff that comic, stores are posting on the exchange, because it's kind of a hub for comic lovers. So if I can share it to a hub of comic lovers, that's going to guarantee comic lovers get to see that post.
It's gonna, and Jericho, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's really important, and I think we do this free. We don't make any money off of it, and I'm sorry if other shops don't get as much shine or attention as others. My response to that was I encourage those shops and their customers and everyone that's part of that shop to share for them as well. It's what we do here. It's all welcome, and those of us who are trying to share everything, we don't always see everything as well, but we are. I feel bad when I miss something, but by no means are we leaving anyone out. So this is a polite reminder for everyone to share the places you love, the people that you've met, and the things that you guys have scored. And if we can just do a little bit of that on occasion, I think the exchange has plenty of things to check out.
The first video I shared came out of the pandemic. It was right at the end when stores were opening up, and I went into Issues Needed and shared a bunch of books. And I heard later that it was a successful day. And that's because people saw the books they were looking for, and they knew where to go, and they went. So
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going back to exchanging, the word exchange, because you're sharing something that a shop's posted already. So you're exchanging that with the community, and it has a positive impact on everybody in the community. But we have not had much drama at all in this group, really. It's been a very fun place to be and welcoming place to be, and I think that's kind of what this show is showing people too. So,
well, and I just want to add to that, and I think it's the place and the minimal drama is a credit to those of us who created this place and help keep it running. We decide what attitude and perspective that we're going to share here, and I think it shows what kind of place we are. On second that, I think we are all aware that there's plenty of other places. If you're going to do those other things and vent and what have you, I encourage you to be there, but as long as I'm here, we're going to keep this a positive spot. You're definitely able to share your experiences, but there's a difference between sharing your negative experience and then piling on for no good reason. There's lots of other more important things that we could be discussing and sharing. But I'm not here to tell anyone they can't share or what have you. But if you're wondering if you should share it, maybe you shouldn't. And
beating a dead horse is never good, I think, is the gist of it.
Sure.
But
anyways, I thank everyone for being here. So thank
absolutely.
you.
Well, yeah, and then to talk about the community, before we head out, I wanted Chris you to do the poster contest one more time.
All right.
Because we have more people here than we did at the beginning of the show.
Good.
So.
Or is there any
welcome everyone?
You can share for it or no?
Did you say there's any graphics?
Yeah, or stuff you could put up dimensions and stuff. Never mind.
No, give it. Yeah.
Besides boosting the post on our page,
we don't have a fact sheet. I just have a typed up thing that I have saved that I sent to the interested parties. But we're holding a poster contest. I didn't say this earlier, but it's important. We are a lover of the arts. There's a lot of things happening in the art world that we just want to be on the side of artists right now. And probably forever. But we would really appreciate that if anybody is entering the poster into the contest, which is due December 20th, and you can reach out to anybody in this chat and they will either get the paragraph from me or reach out directly to me if you are interested. But it can't be done with AI art. I'm going to reverse Google and do the best I can to make sure that that is not happening. That's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but we'll figure it out. And we love figuring stuff out as we go here. And it's going to be cool because as soon as we get a winner, which will be that day more than likely, we'll float it around and the admin pool, and where the admin are going to vote on it, because I'd love to open it up to 1,200 votes, guys, but 1,200 votes is that's messy and it would take a while. So we're going to vote on that one in-house. We're going to get it running. And then that day, we're also going to release the applications for the first show on February 24th. I don't have to look it up that time. February 24th.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
It's going to be sweet. And I'm really excited. And whoever you guys do it, sign your name huge. Put your information on it because we're going to run it as the ad. Like we have, like you guys have seen before. We're going to run it.
It's going to be at comic shops. You're going to see it on comic shops. You're going to see it every damn day in the exchange.
On the scroll, it's going to be the background banner. It's going to be everywhere.
It might be on merch.
Everywhere.
On our website, maybe?
On the closet door, we have the show from July. Like, we print out stuff, too, that you can actually put on your wall sometimes. So.
Yep.
Kyle,
And
can we
go
I have
ahead.
a question for Kyle. If you really like it, can we tattoo it on you?
Wow.
Depending on where. I am not posting an ink.
All right.
So
Kyle is open to it. That's not no.
Oh, being paid by the who?
if you guys pay for the ink, I'm not gonna say no.
Wow.
So,
Were you gonna say something, Jericho?
To a store on my arm if they pay for it.
No, it's a great conversation.
Nora, hey, I have one tattoo, but I have a list of tattoos I want to get. Adding one for the exchange, I'll take one for the team.
Kyle's really into cats. Don't let him show you his cat tattoo wants. It's weird. I'm just kidding.
That's in the cat.
Okay. What?
Above your belly button.
So I can be like Danny Trejo, have that belly. So.
Oh my god. No.
Yeah, I remember. Real quick on tattoos. I remember when Andrew and I were talking once, and he's like, "Check out my tattoos," and he's telling me about the Beatles, and I'm like, "I don't like the Beatles." He's like, "I don't like you."
Oh snap. Dang. All right. Are we ready to wrap it up, Kai?
Well, I was gonna say, do you guys have anything you guys want to talk about for we started off as a fantasy football podcast.
Year end topic.
We talked about the year end. We talked about the season ending last week, but there
It's
is
still going.
There is 3 people in here that are still fighting for that championship.
Well, I'm out of the championship running.
Well, yeah, you're out, but Nora, myself, and Jordan.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I wasn't the third.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
I was getting at like if there's topics for next week or before the year end, if people in the chat have ideas of what you want to hear us talk about, let us know. Because we've been trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Hey, I got a good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't the people that are here that want to participate that sounded bad. The people that are here participating right now, if they want to participate in the next show, let's do your favorite book you got in 2023.
So that's kind of what I was thinking about because
yes,
next year is going to be. I mean, next week might be the final one of the year for us.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because maybe we should take a break. For the holidays.
In between the
spend some time with family.
Yeah.
Christmas, New Year.
But yeah, a year-end wrap-up. That could be a very long episode, though.
Oh my
because
god, 3 hours later.
a lot has happened in the MCE. A lot has happened in comics. Andrew, movie reviews pick of the week, FOC show. Shit,
Hey, you should come on and take on one of those.
We could talk about the movies too. We could talk about the MCU. Leaf. I'm not gonna say anything. I have family that probably watch this. So
Hey, well, let's talk. Let's roundhouse it. But what say you if it is the last show of the year next year? Let's say we go longer. Last show wrap up, year wrap up.
And I know a lot of people catch this on different formats at different times, but yeah, we love the interaction, or at least I do. I love reading the messages. I wish I could interact more with you guys. I would love to see more people, everyone, whoever is interested, to come on. And you don't have to sit the whole time. If you just want, hey, I'd just love to answer a couple questions and say hi, that's cool. If you want to sit in a little bit longer, that's another thing. But
you don't have to do camera either. I mean, people.
I love talking with you all.
Yeah, honestly, if you don't want to do the camera thing, I'm only doing it because I agree with Kyle that I keep my camera on. No, but I'm just saying, all of us here at the MCE and the admin team and Chris and everyone, we'd love to hear what you guys have to say on certain conversations and topics. So please don't hesitate to reach out so we can try to make it possible for you to share and contribute to what we're trying to build here. I think we're just trying different things out, but it's been fun. So
we run chats too, just to hang out all the time. So if anybody out there is ever watching this and you're in the Facebook group and you're bored, and you're like, I want to talk comics, share comics, whatever, hang out, comment on the page. Is there a chat room up? Because we'll respond pretty quick if there is one.
Yeah.
So.
You need a venting session. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, this is the only one we do live. It's the only one that we do recorded. Will we do more down the line eventually? But this is the only time we do it live and record it. All the other chats are just hanging out. I mean, this is just hanging out, but it's for you, the people, to see. You, the community, to see. So.
And I'm really trying to get our group chat room going. I send messages to Facebook, no response. Meta, no response. I know some people have community groups. I try. Every time I try to make one, PC, phone, have somebody else try to make one, error. So hopefully one day we'll have Comic Talk chat, and where it's just like an open forum chat. But until Facebook's going to have their tools work for us, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Also, too, if you have experience in podcasting or anything that is maybe relative to what we do here at the Exchange, please hit up an admin and let us know what your talents or experiences are. And if you have any interest in helping out, I know we're definitely continuing to grow. And if there's something that you might be able to assist with, whether it be production-wise, video, editing, or even, I know as we continue to grow, we will be looking for more volunteers and volunteer opportunities. But that all starts with just knowing that there's folks out there that are interested or have something to help contribute. I know we're all just sort of putting this together, but there are a lot of people out there who are talented. So,
who's the best Ninja Turtle, and why is that talent? I know it's true. I mean, I don't know. I like Okay, what?
Before we answer this, Neil, this is exactly what we want.
Yeah,
Neil,
like this.
Dude, you can sit on chat if you want, but we'd love to actually talk with you. But whatever you're comfortable with, bud, I'm just happy to see your name pop up, man.
I think, from at least the recent movie, I think I loved Leo the most, but I think I told him that already. So why? Because he was like the leader, and he was, I don't know, I felt like he was showcased more than others. I gotta rewatch it. We've only watched it once. So. Andrew.
Right.
Yeah.
Mikey is, I like the Raphael. I like Raphael. He was sort of the badass. It's almost like
Raphael.
But no one likes Leo, so I gotta give him some love, okay?
Well, he's the Boy Scout.
You just relate to Leo, huh? 'Cause
Leo
no one
and Don are like the ones who aren't as popular, right? You know.
No, people see.
See,
Mikey's
everyone
really
loves Mikey. Yeah,
Hey,
there you go.
welcome,
Hey.
Leif. And I know you got the kids to bed, so thanks for coming out, bud.
It's Mikey.
Yeah, usually I'm in bed at this time, but I'm not working tomorrow.
You're
so-
off
Tracy,
tomorrow.
Amy, Sophie.
Yeah. I don't
you
know if
guys
they're
got
still
her
up.
favorite.
Yeah.
Understandable. But if they are, cool. And if not, I hope they get to see their shout out.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do an extra long one next week, do we want to start it earlier or no?
Oh.
I guess we no. Anyway,
Since we're throwing things out, I brought up that last point to say that, hey, if you have other ideas for different programming here on the podcast, this is I consider this Kyle's baby, but I know he is open to any
Lame.
feedback.
Mhm.
Yes,
and hi,
I
Amy.
mean, we all. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to see more conversation, if you want to see more
Mhm.
updates of events, of sales, of ongoings around town, if you are looking for, like Andrew said, maybe movie conversation, that all of those things are great, and let us know. Like, again, this
So-
is a growing, breathing thing, and we'd love to
Yeah.
make it somewhere people want to be and people want to interact.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
Eat fast food.
it's and here's the thing, like you watched our first episode 15 weeks ago opposed to now, and you can see the evolution already.
Sure.
So just imagine
And we're working to improve.
and if the community wants to get involved, and I want them to get more involved, I'd love to hear feedback, what we can do differently, what we can add to the show. Raphael for
Raphael
life.
for life.
Hey, Thomas.
But I mean, you could
Oh,
do an
that's
episode by
true.
episode review of the new What If show. We could do that.
It could also be a segment. You
Yeah.
know, these are all ideas. It's good.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is, though, is we're evolving, and I think we're gonna get to that point where we are a well-oiled machine, and we're gonna be the voice of the community. That's what I just look at it. So
Chris had to get some snacks.
And then one last thing, I like plugging people. Dave Richardson, who's new to the group, he's been recently doing live shows of some non-superhero stuff, independent stuff. He's been part of the comic community from the days way back in the 90s when I first met him. He's a fun and entertaining guy. I'd listen to him just talk, but I enjoy his stuff. Please post, comment, like if you can. That encourages him to put more stuff up, and let
He's
him
got a
know
great beard.
yeah, he's got a great
Beard.
beard. But besides his beard, he's an awesome guy. And if you like his content, let him know, because he definitely, when he puts it up, he definitely loves the interactions. Like
I'll
many
be
of us
honest.
do.
I'll be honest. I actually befriended him on Facebook after one of those videos.
Nah, dude. That's the magic of the exchange. I think a lot of us, just like all of us here, we met through comics, and our interests span outside of comics as well. Our interests and friendships span that, and so
I wouldn't know any of you without comics.
yeah.
True.
So
Mhm.
you might find someone someone amazing that you never knew was there, and you just happen to have a favorite character, but they also do music production, and you were looking for a guy to run a soundboard. I don't know.
Or we could do an episode of we gotta find Jericho a woman.
No, let's not do Nora. Let's please not do
a
that.
nerdy person. Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna turn that down, but
Welcome
you know,
to MPE Match Game.
Matchmaking.
this is not why I'm here, and you just open the door to something.
See, Andrew's all for that.
God.
That's you.
See,
That's
this
cute.
is horrible.
We have Jay Rico.
Jay Rico.
No. Contestant number 3. No, thank you.
Who is behind the screen today?
No. I appreciate the love. You guys you guys inspire me already. But no, I'm cool hanging out. But if you know anyone,
Send me the deets.
Her name's
no.
Emma Frost.
Her name's Emma Frost.
yeah, my future ex-wife. That's perfect. I'm ready.
Jericho's dating corner. Yes. It's already coming
No.
along.
It's not coming. Andrew. Oh my God.
This is
I'm
the
gonna
first
start
time.
I'm gonna rabbit ear all of his pull books. Just wait.
This is seriously
Oh,
the
dang.
first time that I have seen you blush.
Oh yeah, Amy obviously does graphics and video editing, so she can help if needed.
Well, there's a lot of different things
And
that
she's
we're
always
realizing.
working.
That's true.
Well, she's busy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my point to this was that there's a lot of people who may have time that have a lot of different skills and talents. And if you're able to share that and put it to
Yeah.
use, the MCE is a place that we'd love to talk. So.
Since Andrew's funding it, we have a strict rule that it has to be a little bit better than the Steve Brule check it out. John C. Riley.
It's all fun. Thanks. Lee. We're all good, bud.
2 hours later.
I know.
Well,
and
I mean,
I don't want
Burger
to keep
King
anyone.
fries.
Jordan's phone unfortunately died, so he had to
Yeah.
bail out.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
That's what it was.
I thought he forced
Jericho's just sitting in his
He
car.
foreseen the Jericho dating corner.
Yeah, he's like,
it scared him.
I'm not here for this.
He's not visualizing any of that.
We'll fill him on. We'll fill him up. Fill him
God,
in.
this
But-
is gonna be a horrible week with that comment now. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Hope you enjoy the shop this week.
I'm sorry.
Please stop watching this video an hour and 18 minutes in.
You mean 2 hours in?
No,
I mean,
They will
you,
not.
50.
I hope
you
nobody
could just
sees
start
the
an
ad mark.
OnlyFans in the chicken
No.
coop.
In the chicken
No.
coop.
Let me tell you how to get the wrong people to respond to anything.
Well, you
Make the
filmed
request
chicken
in front of
coop.
a chicken coop.
Yeah.
But the chickens
Yes.
are fun. I was too scared. I was gonna hold a chicken and come on the show, and then I was like, I'm not holding one of these 8-piece birds. Look at this thing, man. It's messed up.
And just you holding a chicken's gonna open up so many jokes too.
It can be
I know.
the new
I know.
Yeah.
And my father would disown me. He didn't swim across the Pacific for me to end up on a podcast holding a chicken again.
Again.
This isn't
again.
again.
Again. Oh man. Okay.
I've done
Well,
a lot of things. Few of them I'm proud of.
I
Few
think
of them.
that's the best time to end the show by saying again.
Yeah.
So,
People are like,
well,
yes.
have a good
Bye,
one,
Tracy.
Good night, Tracy.
Y'all
Take
have a
care.
good one.
Thank you everyone for your comments and tuning in.
Yeah.
It's
Think on
awesome.
Jericho's corner.
No, this is not about.
No, but
Please, for the
seriously,
love of
let's
everything.
bring it back to say, like, we're so grateful for everyone, and yeah, like Jericho said
I-
before, let us know how you want to keep interacting, and we're here
And
for
I'm
that.
okay with the hug fest.
And find your
Please.
favorite book of 2023.
Yep. I'll share
Yeah.
something. I'll share something in the group about that tonight, so we can get like a poll to see if people bring up the same book or something like that too.
Someone
Yeah.
mailed Jordan a portable battery pack.
Good night, Amy.
Good night, Amy.
Thank you for
Uh,
checking us out tonight.
Yeah, this is a great episode. Thank you for everybody who attended. Remember, check out
Cool.
we have 1 week left of the poster deadline that Chris talked about, December 20th.
And are we gonna talk about that next week as well? Sorry.
the poster?
Yeah.
No,
Um,
vote on that.
yeah,
My
so that's gonna be a very long day. We might
Yeah.
want to move this show next week because we have the poster vote on the 20th.
So move it
So-
to maybe Friday or another
Yeah.
day.
So,
Yeah. I'd be down for
so that's something that we could talk about in
Yeah.
the chat later.
that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
This next week may move back. It's gonna be a longer episode. It'll be a year-end episode. Maybe that's when we can showcase the poster too, or talk about that as well.
The poster has generated a lot of excitement and interest,
Mm-hmm.
more so than I think many of us anticipated. So
Yeah.
I for one am super excited to see what the talented membership
Mhm.
is able to provide. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think we should just say stay tuned for all those details, and we'll get them
Heck yeah.
out. Yeah. What we're gonna do next week.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, good night, everybody. This is not the Minnesota goodbye.
No.
Nope. You have a good night.
Everybody.
Andrew, if anyone's up, check the thing. We might be hanging out. Peace.
Oh.